Good evening. I'm Janet Taro, the Narragansett Town Clerk. In accordance with Section 2-1-6 of the Narragansett Town Charter, the Town Clerk shall preside over the first meeting of a newly elected council until the President is elected. With all members present, I call this meeting to order at 7:30. Please stand and join me in pledging allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can have a seat. The results of the November 8, 2022 election have been certified by the Rhode Island Board of Elections and the Narragansett Board of Canvassers. The results, in order of most votes received, are as follows. Susan P. Cicilline Bonanno, Eva M. Zuzinski, Deborah A. Kopek, Jill A. Lawler, Stephen J. Ferrandi. Council-elect, please come forward to take your oath. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will be true and faithful unto this state and support the laws and Constitution thereof, the laws and Constitution of the United States, the Narragansett Town Charter and ordinances, and that I will well and truly execute the office of Town Council Member for the term for which I have been appointed, or until another be engaged in my place, or until I am legally discharged therefrom. So help me God. Congratulations. Next is the election of a Town Council President. Is there a nomination for Town Council President?
I nominate Eva Drudzinski.
I'd like to nominate Susan Cicilline Bonanno.
Is there another nomination for Town Council President? Hearing non-nominations are now closed. Do I hear a motion?
I'll second the motion for Eva Drudzinski.
I'll make
I'll move the motion.
Yeah, we'll move the motion.
I'll move that motion
Which one?
to close the election for,
Nope, make a motion to appoint.
I make a motion to appoint Eva Drudzinski.
And I make a motion to appoint Susan Cicilline Bonanno.
After this one.
Okay.
Is there a second on the motion to appoint Counselor Jazinski?
I second the motion.
Is there a vote?
Aye.
It'll be a roll call vote. Please state your name and your vote.
Jill Lawler, aye.
Steve Ferrandy, aye.
Deb Kopeck, nay.
Susan Cicilline Bonanno, abstain.
Eva Drzezinski, aye.
Is there another nomination? Another motion? That one failed.
Fit?
It's a 2-2.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Oh, 3-1, Susan said.
She abstained.
Oh, I didn't get. Jill, Steve, Deb, 1, 2, 3. 3-1 vote with one abstention. Sorry, had to take notes and run the meeting.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, Council President Jazinski, show is yours.
Thank you. The next order of business is the election of the Town Council President Pro Tem. Looking for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Jill Lawler for President Pro Tem.
I'll second. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Deb Kopeck. Go first.
Is there a second?
Second. Can I second that?
Yes, you can.
Second.
There's no second on the nominations?
Ah.
They just make the nomination and then
Okay.
you make the motion.
So there's the nomination for Jill Lawler. And so now, is there a motion for Jill Lawler?
There was a nomination from Councilmember Ferrandy for Jill Lawler, and there was a nomination from Councilor Kopeck, from Councilor Cicilline Bonanno for Councilor Kopeck. So is there a motion for to appoint?
Is there, I'll make the motion to appoint Jill Lawler as the pro tem. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion. You have to vote.
Roll call vote.
Yep. So there a roll call vote?
Steve Ferrandy, aye.
I think Susan goes first.
Sing it?
I think you go
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I go first. Susan Cicilline Bonanno, nay.
Eva Drzezinski, aye.
Jill Lawler, aye.
Deb Kopeck, nay.
Motion for Jill Lawler as the pro tem passes 3-2. So the next order of business is a motion to appoint the following town officials: Judge of Municipal Court, Judge of Probate Court, Magistrate Clerk Municipal Court, Town Solicitor, Assistant Solicitor, and Town Sergeant. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint John DeCupolis for the municipal court judge.
Second.
I'd actually like to talk about changing the motion up a little bit. As far as the judges go and the solicitors, I'd like to be able to take a look at who else is out there. And actually, this is something that I saw Deb do last council, and I thought it was a really good thing to do, to take a look at interview our current judges and our current solicitors, and also take the opportunity to see if there's anybody else out there that may be willing to put their name in. And that's the way I'd like to change the motion.
Is there a second to amend the motion?
I'll second the motion.
So how would we go about doing that for, how many positions are there? There's like a lot of them. So I just want to understand.
So I
this.
believe what your motion stated, Deb, was that you directed the clerk and the HR director to advertise for the positions and strongly encourage all the current judges and solicitors, well, at the time it was just solicitors, to apply. And then we'd schedule, through Susan Healy, we'd schedule the interviews, right?
Okay, I get it. So what do we do in the meantime?
Keep them in place in the meantime. And that's what you had done before as well.
Okay, does that include the town sergeant?
No. I think, not from me. I think he's doing a great job.
So,
And I understand too, you just appointed the probate judge, and he's just been here. With that person, I haven't met him yet. I've never hired anybody that I've never met
Can we have a point of order?
before.
Can we go through them? We're all over the place.
Okay,
Go
so we're
in
going to
order.
go down the line. We're going to do a motion to appoint the following. We'll go one by one. We can either appoint the person that is in that role currently. If there is another motion, if we want to advertise for the positions and look to see if, do interviews, we can also do that, but we'll do the motion for each one individually.
So,
This way, because there are, like the probate judge, as Jill stated, was just appointed, and we have the town sergeant here as well, town solicitor, assistant solicitor, magistrate, clerk, municipal court.
okay, can I just, we have John DeCubelis on. We said, I moved the motion. She seconded it. Discussion, take a vote. Should we not do it, or we should do it?
So we'll take a vote on whether to appoint John, and that's Judge DeCubelis. If we all want to move forward and appoint him, then that will take precedent. If it fails, or then we'll go back and we can explore the opportunity of actually advertising for this position and change the motion for that one in particular, and go down the line.
All right, so Janet, for the clerk, just to clarify, I put a motion on, right? Deb seconds it, so we call it to a vote?
Yes.
Is that what we're going to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so reappointment of John DeCubelis. Judge John DeCubelis, roll call.
Susan Cicilline Bonanno, aye.
Stephen Ferrandi, nay.
Deb Kopek, aye.
Jill Aller, no.
Eva Jasinski, nay. So then that motion fails. So the motion to advertise for judge of municipal court, is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
What's the motion?
So the motion is just to advertise. So Judge DeCubelis stays in place, and we sort of the similar situation where when we advertise for the town solicitor position.
Sorry, Eva, I think you should, just for the interim, while there's court going on, you probably should appoint Mr. DeCubelis at least interim so that the court can continue unless you don't want it to go forward the next few weeks.
Okay.
If I,
Okay, so let's go back to that one. So motion to appoint Judge DeCubelis. And does anyone want to make a motion to appoint with advertising
So we
for future?
So we're going to import him interim and then advertise.
Yes.
I think to be on the safe side, that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm going to make the motion that Judge DeCubelis continue until the advertisement's filled. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, roll call on that.
So we're voting on the motion where we're going to be advertising the position, but the current judge will stay in place until such time.
I'm going to vote Susan Cicilline Bonato, no. I want him to stay in without the advertising. So I'm a nay for the record.
Okay, Steve?
I'm an aye for the vote that the positions are that position is opened up, and the current solicitor, the current municipal court judge will stay in the position if he wants to during the time of the interviews, and he can also interview for the position himself.
Jill Lawler, aye for the motion.
Me next.
Why does it go to
That's next.
aye?
It's like an Evideb thing.
I know, right?
I actually figure it's not going to make too much difference, but I'm going to say nay also.
I'm sorry.
I said I don't think it's going to make very much difference, but I'm going to say nay also.
Are you saying nay?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm aye. Jill Lawler, aye.
And I'm an aye, so it's 3-2. Motion passes. The next motion to appoint,
Counselor, did you vote on that one?
I did, I said aye.
Aye. Thank you.
The next is the motion to appoint Judge of Probate Court.
I'll make a motion to continue with Anthony Manelli. I'd like, he just got hired.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Susan Cicilline Bonato, aye.
Steve?
Steve Ferrandi, I'm going to abstain from this vote because I don't know this person at all, and I didn't appoint him, so I still would like the opportunity, as in the previous municipal court judge, to have the opportunity to at least speak to the person before. So I know it was voted in before, so I'm not going to say no, I'm just going to abstain to the vote.
Aye.
Councilman?
Aye.
I'm also going to abstain from the vote.
Okay, abstain. So I will say aye, so three ayes and 2 abstentions. Next, a motion to appoint town solicitor, assistant solicitor.
No, it's the magistrate next.
Oh, sorry, the magistrate clerk municipal court.
That's Janet.
Someone make the motion.
I'll make the motion for the clerk, Janet Taro.
Second.
To be
And do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Roll call.
Susan Cicilline Bonato, aye.
Steve Ferrandi, aye.
Deb Kopeck, aye.
Jill Lawler, aye.
Eva Trzynski, aye. 5 ayes. Next motion to appoint the town solicitor, assistant solicitor. Do I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to retain Callahan, Mr. Callahan for the solicitor, and Steve Marsala for the assistant solicitor.
Second.
Any other discussion?
No, I'm not seconding. I have another motion. Do we have
Well, we
to
have to finish
We
this
have
one
this motion
first.
on the floor, so is there any discussion
Yeah.
on this before we go off to something else?
Yeah, I'd like to say that James has been with us for a little over a year. I think he's done a really great job. He provides a lot of information. He responds immediately, and his calm demeanor is very helpful, and I have never had an issue with his decisions. Steve, I think, has been here for a lot longer, and he has been, I've watched him with regard to the planning board, I've watched him with the zoning board, and I think that he does an excellent job weaving his way through all the various and sundry issues that we have in those boards. So I'm definitely in favor of both of them.
I just want to say as well, it's been great having Mr. Callahan here. He's done an outstanding job. And Steve as well, I hear constantly from the planning and zoning how they can't believe that they could do it without you. And they're both thrilled. So I hope that you'll both be here for a long time.
Any amendments to the motion?
I'd like to amend the motion to, as similar to the the judge of municipal court to hold a motion and to advertise the town solicitor's position and the assistant solicitor's position.
Doesn't he have to get an amendment on his motion first? I'm getting very confused, Janet. We had a motion, a second, we had a discussion on them, and he's amending on top of the motion on the floor. That doesn't, I mean, I hate to consult with Callahan, but do you know what I mean? We have a motion, and he's amending on top of the motion.
You can amend a motion, then go back to the original and
We have
then
to have a
vote on
vote
it.
for the amendment, though. So you'll
You
have
want to
to,
take a vote on the amendment for the original?
This is a little bit awkward, but I think the motion's on the floor. Mr. Frandy can make a motion to amend, and then whether the motion to amend succeeds, then that motion will be voted on. If not, then it goes back to Ms. Spinano's motion. I believe that's the way it goes.
Okay, thank you, James. Okay, so my motion to amend is to, as we did in the similar municipal court judge, to advertise a town solicitor and assistant town solicitor's position. And the advertising should be relevant on regional online publications. Current solicitors encouraged to apply an executive session to review the proposals and conduct interviews will be scheduled accordingly. That's my motion.
Is there a second to that motion?
I will second that.
Okay.
so what do you want to do?
So the same as the first, right?
As similar as we did in the judge of municipal court, open it up to accepting applications. The current solicitor and assistant town solicitor can remain in the position, and they are available to apply for the positions also.
So they'll remain until an interview process happens and someone
Correct.
else is selected, okay?
So a roll call on that amended motion?
Steve Ferrandy, aye.
Do we have some discussion about that? Do we need to discuss this?
We can discuss, sure.
Sure. So I just want to be clear here. What we're talking about now is that we're going to be doing interviews for 3 judicial positions, or solicitor positions, legal positions. I mean, when we did the last couple, people sometimes didn't even show up. So some of our members didn't even show up for some of these events. So I mean, this is going to be a lot of work. I hope everybody is prepared to do that. And I don't really see the necessity for it, but you know, we're going to do what you guys say we're going to do, I guess, huh?
Yeah, but I think we can expedite it in somewhat of a timely fashion. And, you know,
Good luck with
I
that.
don't
least,
think that there's any reason that we need to turn those 2 positions out. I think it's a mistake. I think the town has served well with them, and I can't even believe at this point, you talk to anybody about the reputation of Mr. Callahan, anybody in the town, and the same thing with Mr. Marcella in the planning and zoning. They have outstanding reputations. They're in place. You just delayed some of the things. Why would you do this to the town now? Why?
So do we take the vote now?
Is there any discussion? I wanted to give the opportunity to Councilwoman Lawler to speak. Do you have?
I can't hear you over the clapping.
We'd like to do the roll call now. So
Steve
Starting
Ferrandy,
with
aye.
Can we take public comment?
Yeah, is that?
Is that acceptable?
Yeah, we can take public comment on appointments, absolutely. It's for the public, it's for the town. They should be able to speak on the appointments.
Susan, what we're talking about is interviewing people.
Okay,
We're-
I'm sorry, so,
no-
right, so please, I'm going to allow everyone to speak. It's not an all for anyone can speak at any given time. Please speak. Like I will give everybody an opportunity to speak. Again, this isn't a motion to, we did the same thing with the last council, and that was advertising, and it didn't mean that we were going to change our solicitors, but it gives the opportunity, as was mentioned before, to see who's out there, and give options. And this is a new council, and the council deserves to select who they would want for these positions. So that's kind of where that stands. So.
But what does that have to do with having public comment about it? I mean, that's fine, you're absolutely right, but can't we have public comment too? First?
Sure, we can have
Reasons
public
motion to
comments.
appoint,
I'm sorry, what?
point of order.
Steve, I didn't hear what you said.
I think it's a motion to
Janet,
appoint.
do you have,
motion to-
during appointments, is there public comment by the rules?
Public comment is not prohibited. It's only during the appointment of the council president. It's not, while it's not prohibited, it's not, it doesn't have to happen. It's the choice of the council.
We are the council of the people.
Would the council like to have public comments?
I would.
So I will,
Make a
Councilwoman,
motion. Have a motion.
is there a motion for public
I'll
comment?
make a motion to allow the public to speak on the solicitor for the town of Narragansett, because it's important to the people in the room.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Susan Cicilline Bonanno, aye.
Steve Ferrandi, nay.
Deb Kopic, aye.
Jill Lawler, no.
Eva Jasinski, aye. Will allow for public comment. Who would like to? Patrick.
Set the timer, Eva. Hold on, she's got to get
There
the
we go.
timer.
Patrick Murray, 83 Nepog Road. Eva, why don't we just appoint everybody temporary, just to get through the night? That'd probably be the most prudent thing,
Jesse.
Little town council reunion tonight here. I just wanted to come up and speak real quick. Jesse Pugh, 40 Birchwood Drive, Narragansett. Just wanted to come up and speak in favor of reappointing both James Callahan and Steve Marcella. Steve has been here for a long time. I think universally respected for the work that he does. You can talk to the planning board and the zoning board. They'll both, I think, agree with that assessment. I've never heard anyone really say anything negative about the work that Steve does or his demeanor or the way he communicates with the council. James has not been here as long. However, he has been another staff member that has been really great in terms of communication. Any council member could call him with any question. None of the issues that we've had in terms of court cases that the town has lost during his tenure have been a result of his decision-making or his advice or counsel. I know one high-profile one, the 3-student ordinance. The decision that the council made, and I was the president, so I'll take responsibility on this one, to not go back to planning, that was not James Callahan's advice. James wasn't here at that point. So if we're gonna say there was a specific instance where he made a mistake, that wasn't James, he wasn't here. The last council did not review and advertise all of these appointments when we came in. We did that for one specific one. We took a long time with that. We appointed that person in the meantime. We didn't review the judges, the magistrate. We reappointed those. We did it for one specific position. To come in and wipe out these positions in the first meeting. I think that's really irresponsible. Doesn't sound like there's any plan here. I'm a little bit in shock, actually, about when I'm seeing what's going on right now, and that starts from the very beginning of this meeting. So, thank you.
Nancy?
I certainly would like to eliminate the advertising for these positions. You have an incredible amount of work ahead of you. Some of you are, Steve's brand new. I think that to burden this council with having to do interviews for people that we know and trust is a waste of everyone's time. I think that they would have some kind of review at some point, and if there's a problem then, you can address it at that point. But I'd certainly like to keep both of these solicitors.
Ron?
Ron Kenton, Zarrow Atlantic Ave, Narragansett. Just a point, when a new leadership team comes into a company, a new leadership team typically takes a step back to review all of the entire leadership team, and usually a rank or so down. I don't think it's unprecedented that the town council may want to look to do the same thing. I don't know half the people, but if they've been in there for 10 or 15 years, it doesn't hurt to have a review and go back through a few of them. The interview process is part of the job, right? So I think it's a good idea to maybe just take a step back and review all of the folks that you have on the agenda here. Thanks.
Council President, we have a public hearing.
Yes. So right now, it's 8 o'clock. We have public hearings on the agenda. So the first public hearing is, sorry, we'll wait for the stenographer a second.
For 1 second and get my binder.
Are you all set? Okay, all set.
Diane, you don't have to do the first. Oh, you can do it.
The first public hearing is a motion to accept the request to delay a public hearing on a petition from Brian Couture and Melissa Durkin Couture for the abandonment of a portion of Kathy Street. So, do I have a motion?
Jill Lawler, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
Any discussion? Anyone from the public? Roll call.
Steve Ferrandi, aye.
Councilwoman, we have to do Susan first.
Oh, Susan first.
It's okay. Susan Cicilline Bonanno, aye.
Deb Kopeck, aye.
Steve Ferrandi, are you next?
Yes.
You did. Jill Lawler, aye.
Eva Jasinski, aye. Motion passes 5-0. Next on the docket for the public hearing is a motion to accept the request from the applicant to withdraw without prejudice the request from Narragansett Casino LLC DBA Narragansett Casino to amend the last approved site use plan at Assessor's Plat C, Lot 181, 1AS, 11 Pier Marketplace.
I'll move the motion.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Discussion? Any public comment? Roll call. Councilwoman Cicilline Bonanno.
Susan Cicilline Bonanno, aye.
Stephen Ferrandi, aye.
Deb Kopeck, aye.
Jill Lawler, aye.
Eva Jasinski, aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Excuse me, Eva, may I just, Janet, are we required to do a roll call for these? I don't remember that we did that.
You're required to do the roll call on the vote for president.
Right. So I don't think we need to.
It's the council president's choice.
But should
okay.
probably just call it all together instead of a roll call.
Okay. The next is a motion to accept the request from the applicant to withdraw without prejudice the application of Narragansett Casino LLC, DBA, doing business as Narragansett Casino, for a new casino Class B victualler limited alcoholic beverage license at Assessor's Plat C, Lat 181, 1AS, 11 Pier Marketplace, Narragansett, Rhode Island. Is there a
I'll move the
motion?
motion.
Second.
A discussion? Any public comments? A vote?
Aye.
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 5-0, aye. Motion passes. Next on the agenda is a motion to open and hold a public hearing on the renewal of alcoholic beverage licenses for the license period of December 1st, 2022 to November 30th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so this is, let me see. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is renewal of licenses. There's 37 total. There's for the Class A liquor store licenses, Class BV limited beer and wine with food, there's 5. Class BV tavern, full service with food rooms available 2. And the Class BV full service with food 20. And Class D club full service with food 6. Of note on this is at the time of the advertisement of the public hearing, the following 2 businesses had not submitted their renewal applications, so they'll be on the December 5th agenda for public hearing and possible approval. And those 2 are Benny's Clam Shack, LLC, DBA Benny's Clam Shack, 12 Sandhill Cove Road, and WT Galilee Corp., DBA Captain Foggy's Fish House, 290 to 294 Great Island Road. Is there a motion to open and hold the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any council discussion?
I just want to be sure, because it doesn't state in here, there were no issues as far as disorderly conduct, et cetera, with any of these establishments, right? Thank you.
Any public comments? Okay, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next is a motion to approve the renewal of alcoholic beverage licenses for the license period of December 1st, 2022 to November 30th, 2023, subject to compliance with all state and local regulations. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I don't mean to, but should we read the places for the licenses, like who they are, the establishments?
That'll be next. First,
Okay.
you have to
Just wanna
open
make sure you have
you
those.
have to first and second this motion, and then she's going to read all the rest.
You can read the list,
That's not me.
this list. You can use that if you want.
Okay. So the following is for the 4 subject to comply with the 4 Class A are Bonnet Spirits, DBA.
Council President.
Yes.
They have to, the first motion that you were reading, I need a first and a second on that one. The motion to approve the renewals, I need a first and a second to that one.
Is there a motion to approve the renewal of the alcoholic beverage licenses for this license period of December 1st, 2022 to November 30th, 2023, subject to compliance with all state and local regulations? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
Aye.
no
vote, no
vote.
vote.
We have to have discussion first.
No vote. Now you have to read the other motions.
Okay, I didn't have this packet, sorry. So the motion to renew the following Class A alcoholic beverage licenses subject to compliance with all state and local regulations. And then it's Bonnet Spirits, doing business as Bonnet Shores Liquors, 965 Boston Neck Road. O'Neill's Package Store, DBA O'Neill's Package Store, 366 South Pier Road. Pier Liquors, DBA Pier Liquors, 29 Pier Marketplace. Schwabi's Wine and Spirits, DBA Schwabi's Wine and Spirits, 858 Point Judith Road. Is there a motion to renew?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we get,
Aye.
should there be public comment?
Is there any public comment? No public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
5-0. Motion passes. Motion to renew the following Class B victualling limited alcoholic beverage licenses. There's 5 of them, subject to compliance with all state and local regulations. Aunt Carrie's, Inc., DBA Aunt Carrie's, 1240 Ocean Road. Hook Line and Pizza, LLC, DBA Hook Line and Pizza, 1 Angel Road. JB Coffee Company, LLC, DBA Cool Beans Cafe, 18 Kingstown Road. Julio's, LLC, DBA Leo's Pizza, 909 Boston Neck Road. Monahan's Restaurant, Inc., DBA Monahan's Clam Shack, 190 Ocean Road. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Any public comments? Vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0, motion passes. Next is the motion to renew the following Class B tavern alcoholic beverage licenses. There's 2 of these, subject to compliance with all state and local regulations. INP Beverage Services, LLC, DBA Shore House and Seacraft, 113 Ocean Road. The Break, LLC, DBA The Break Hotel and Chair 5, 1208 Ocean Road. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed?
Put it in the middle because I'm sharing it with you. So, yeah, I mean, you have it in there, but I don't mind.
I have it in tiny,
Yeah,
like
it's
this.
fine.
Yeah,
Just
I can't see
want
it.
to, as
Okay.
we get to it.
Okay, and the motion to renew the following Class B victualling alcoholic beverage licenses, there's 20 of these, subject to compliance with all state and local regulations. Diamond Arturo Corp., DBA Arturo Joe's, 140 Judith Road. The Bike Stop Cafe, DBA The Bike Stop Cafe, 148 Boone Street. Hammerhead Grill, Incorporated, DBA Bonneview Inn, 1230 Ocean Road. One Eye Jacks LLC, DBA Buster Crabs Beach Bar and Burger Shack, 265 Great Island Road. Caterina's Italian Restaurant, Inc., DBA The Coastal Cabin Restaurant, 945 Boston Neck Road. Champlain Seafood Deck, Incorporated, DBA Champlain Seafood Deck, 256 Great Island Road. South Winds Corporation, DBA Coast Guard House, 40 Ocean Road. George's Galilee Restaurant, Inc., DBA George's of Galilee, 250 Sandhill Cove Road. Mariner Grill, Inc., DBA Mariner Grill, 140 Point Judith Road. New Dragon, Inc., DBA New Dragon, 80 Point Judith Road. Sags Enterprises, LLC, DBA PJ's Pub, 135 Boone Street. GFL, Inc., DBA Poncho O'Malley's, 140 Point Judith Road. Pelly's Properties, LLC, DBA Pelly's Place, 909 Boston Neck Road. Portside Restaurant, Inc., DBA Portside Restaurant, 321 Great Island Road. Spain and Narragansett, Inc., DBA Spain Restaurant, 144 Ocean Road. TRG2, Inc., DBA Tees Narragansett, 91 Point Judith Road. Ralph Jagsfich, DBA The Tavern, 140 Point Judith Road. Trio LLC, DBA Trio, 15 Kingstown Road. Tsunama Asian and Sushi Bar LLC, DBA Tsunama Asian and Sushi Bar, 21 Pier Marketplace. Twin Willows Incorporated, DBA Twin Willows, 865 Boston Neck Road. Is there a motion to renew the following?
So moved.
Second?
Second the motion.
Any discussion? Public comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Last is motion to renew the following Class D club alcoholic beverage licenses, subject to compliance with all state and local regulations. Bonnet, do I have a motion?
Not yet.
Oh.
Read it first.
Bonnet Shores Beach Club Association, DBA Bonnet Shores Beach Club, 175 Bonnet Point Road. GBC Association, DBA Galilee Beach Club, 220 Sandhill Cove Road. Metatuxet Improvement Association, DBA Metatuxet Yacht Club, 30 South River Drive. Petasquamsket Lake Shores Improvement Association, DBA Petasquamsket Lake Shores Improvement Association, 50 Woodsere Road. Point Judith Country Club, DBA Point Judith Country Club, 150 Windmere Road. Dunes Corporation, DBA The Dunes Club, 137 Boston Neck Road. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Okay. So then, some motions approved. So the next, so that's closing the public hearing.
That was already done.
Is that-
That was already done. This is just the vote on the licenses. We're back to the public comment
We're all done.
on the appointment of the solicitors.
Yeah, so we'll be back to public comment on the solicitor, assistant solicitor. Is anyone wishing to speak on this at this moment?
Win. Ever win. Win.
Oh, sorry. When?
Win Hames, 30 Wood Avenue, Narragansett, Rhode Island. I am a great supporter of James. I've known him for many, many years, and sometimes he's too honest. But that's beside the point. My biggest concern right now is I've been involved with this town and with these proceedings for maybe 40 years. 20-some years, 25 years ago, and prior to that, every time a town council came in, they would simply fire everybody and start over. They would fire the police chief, they would fire the fire chief, they would fire the solicitor. We worked very hard to get rid of that mentality and that type of action that was going on. Tonight, you're bringing that back. And that's a shame, because this town deserves better than that. I just hope that you will listen and listen to the people. This is not what they want. We don't want to go back to that type of politics. But if you continue on this course, I'm afraid that's where we might end up. Thank you.
Does anyone else like to comment on this public comment?
Just one comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
My name is Paul Ferrandi, and I would certainly encourage this new council with new leadership to go ahead and look at these positions to see if there's anything better out there, or it's your prerogative. I think you're doing the people's due diligence by opening them up and taking a look. That's not to say that the people in the present positions are not doing a bad job or may not be reappointed. I'm assuming a lot of them will be. But to just close the book and say we're going to continue to do what we've done in the past is no good. I think you owe it to the people. The people have voted you folks in. We have new leadership, new council members, and it's your prerogative, and I would say your due diligence, to at least look at it and keep an open mind and not close it to who's ever in those positions for 10, 15, 20 years. It's a little bit uncomfortable to do that. This is a small town, and it's a very cozy town. And a lot of people know one another. But to be professionals, take a step back, do what's in the best interest of all the residents of the town of Narragansett, and look at other candidates or look at other options that are out there. Again, a lot of these folks, they're fantastic. I don't know many of them. You may not know many of them. But I think it's your due diligence, and I actually approve of what you're doing. Thank you.
Is there any more public comment? Okay, we'll go back to the motion, the amended motion. Vote on that. And that was to continue with the current solicitor and assistant solicitor with subsequent advertising for the positions.
Can we go around the council once more?
Yes.
The solicitors, right. I'm Susan Cicilline Bonanno, and I guess I'm a nay because I don't want to advertise for them. I would just assume keep them because they're so fabulous. I think it's just a waste of our time. So that's a no for me.
And I'd like to say, Jill mentioned that in the past council, I made a motion, I guess, to seek new counsel. I did not do that until we had been in session for 7.5 months. And one of the objectives of that was to ensure that I saw what I wanted to see in terms of the performance of our solicitor. And it took a long time to think through what I wanted to do. You know, if there's one thing people love to say about me, it's that I do my homework. And I do my homework. So I would really suggest that perhaps we wait on this and give the new council members an opportunity to do their homework and see what they think about the performance of these individuals, and maybe come back to this in 6 months.
Are we on the vote?
Any more comments? Any more?
No, I have no more comments.
Okay. Okay, so we'll do.
I just want to say, I'm looking to advertise, and the big point about this is the solicitors work with us, but they also work with all of our department heads. So it's really important for me to be able to speak with Jim, speak with the department heads, and find out how they feel. So that's one of the reasons why I want to take the time and do that work and advertise for that reason.
And you could do that for, you know, a 6-month period and then make a really reasoned decision based on, you know, that kind of, I mean, I applaud that. I think that's a great idea. But I think that, you know, in the meantime, we also have to have continuity. And it may turn out that we don't have to do this because what you discover is that everything is actually in excellent shape. So, or if not, then we move forward. But I think it's a little bit, you know, a little early to do that without having had any experience with either Steve or James and not had the opportunity to talk to the staff to find out how they feel about how they're working. I mean, I haven't heard anybody, including Eva, have an issue working with either of these gentlemen. So this is surprising to me. So, and so I think it would really behoove all of us to stop for a minute and think about what we want to, you know, what we want to get to over time. I'd also comment on Mr. Canzara's comment about what happens in business. And I was in business for almost 40 years, and I don't ever recall just, walking in and changing everything. The first thing you do is take the measure of the situation and then make your decisions based on the experiences that you have and the things that you learn. So it's just, I think that we really should consider that.
Okay, so just to continue where I left off, I want to take a look and just do our homework. I think it's important to do that. If we wait 6 months, Deb, we're only here for 2 years, and so you're a year in at that point in time. So we're going to differ on it, but that's okay. Different
Sure.
opinions are good things. So
Okay, so we'll take a vote on it with, starting with, for the amended motion, with, starting with Councilwoman.
What's the motion again?
It's to continue with the current solicitor and assistant solicitor and advertise simultaneously to interview.
Nay.
Aye, Steve Ferrandy.
Deb Kopeck, nay.
aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-2. Next on the agenda is a motion to appoint town council members to serve on the
No,
following.
there's the town sergeant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The motion for,
Yeah.
to
Back to
appoint
the-
town
A
sergeant.
motion to appoint town sergeant.
Excuse me, sorry. You got to go back to the main motion because Susan made a motion
Okay.
to appoint, so you have to vote on that motion.
Okay, voting on the motion to appoint the current town solicitor and assistant solicitor. All in favor?
Aye. What?
You just voted aye.
Oh,
Aye.
appoint.
Voting on Susan's, right?
The motion, the original motion, which is to appoint the solicitor and assistant solicitor.
Them or another, or advertising?
No, your motion. We already did
Them.
the advertisement, going back to the
Susan,
main
we
motion.
had to go back to the
We have to go
original
back to the
I'm
main,
confused.
we have to go back to the main motion because you had made the motion to appoint the solicitor and the assistant solicitor, so we have to vote on that one. So we have to go back. So basically, vote the way you want, and then the others will vote, and then
Your main motion.
we have to go back to the main motion. So I can do the roll call on this.
And the motion
Is to continue with the current solicitor and assistant solicitor.
until advertising.
No, we
No,
already
that
did
was
that
your-
one.
your-
We already
Yes.
passed
We
that
already
one.
voted on
No,
that.
Your motion, Susan. We're going back to your motion, the original
We're
one.
going back to your
Where we
motion.
were
which-
going to
I've been so
appoint them.
confused in my life, so I'm going to
Okay.
abstain for right now or come back to me.
The solicitor states that we can just move forward without taking a vote for that.
Okay.
I'm still confused.
I don't know.
Okay, so the next is a motion to appoint town council members to serve on the following committees as in accordance with town ordinances and town charter. Does anybody want to make that motion or?
Have to do council president, town sergeant.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Thomas.
Thanks, Janet.
So a motion to appoint the town sergeant. Do I have a motion?
So I'll ask that we appoint Thomas Hirschenbach as the town sergeant.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. The next is a motion to appoint town council members to serve on the following committees as in accordance with town ordinances and town charter. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second for discussion, I guess. So there's a couple of boards that aren't listed on here tonight, IDEA, EDC, and Housing Authority. So I just want you guys to know that they're not on this list. And I don't know if people are prepared to pick their committees tonight, but I think, I mean, I could go either way if people needed more time to review them.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, especially, Steve, I don't know if you have the time to go through all and maybe what we can do is send our suggested what we'd like to serve on to Eva, and then she can make those decisions. That's a good idea.
That's usually how, that's how we did it the last session, too.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Give us a chance to, give our opinions and ask the
pick the
president what to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any
committees.
public comment on this? Okay, so then, does somebody want to make a motion to continue this?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so the motion will be to continue this to the next meeting. We'll all be able to discuss what we'd like for some of these committees and decide at the next scheduled meeting. Want to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.
Who made the first and second on that? I missed that, I'm
I
sorry.
made the
Deb,
first,
and I
Jill
second.
seconded.
Thank you.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the executive session votes. This wasn't on here, but the last executive session, November 7th, we need a motion to seal the executive session minutes. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, so moved. Excuse me, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Susan, I think you have to second
Yeah.
because
We can't
Jill and
vote.
and Steve, you were not,
I'll-
you can't do it.
You weren't there.
I'll second it.
Yeah, you can't do it, yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Wait, aye.
Oh, abstain? No, I know, but I have to.
I'm telling Deb, it's the
Oh,
three of
yeah.
us with the,
Three.
Yeah, I got it.
Steve and I weren't here, so we can't vote.
so it's 3
So
to
abstaining.
0,
So 3-0.
2 abstentions.
Yeah, two abstentions.
Same thing for the next one, too, I think.
Okay, next we'll go to open forum public comment.
Wait,
Is
we
there
have-
anyone?
Don't we have a regular meeting to approve?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Minutes?
The next, so the approval of the minutes, the November 7th regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Susan, you have to second. Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Next actually is announcements, presentation of the town manager's update. Jim, would you like to give the update?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Just a few items. First of all, we'd like to congratulate and welcome the council that was just sworn in this evening. For the town manager report this week, the previous council sponsored a heating assistance fund program through, Patrick Murray was a sponsoring council member that proposed it. It was approved 5-0 by the council. We started doing this program the day after the meeting, and to date, we've had 5 applicants and spent $1,250 for heating relief for some people. Library. A pre-construction meeting was held on Wednesday, November 16th, attended by town staff and by the library crew. The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for this Wednesday, and we're still forging forward on this worthy project. With Thanksgiving right around the bend, we'd like to wish everyone a happy and healthy Thanksgiving here in town. And for those in the community that are in need of assistance, the Farrell family that runs Sunset Farm has offered to provide meals to those in need, and those meals can be delivered to your home, or they can be picked up at Sunset Farm Wednesday from 3 to 5. Susan, Jeff, and Ethan do a great service to the community for this. They've been doing it for several years, and anyone in need could call them at 401-450-2891. Also, although many people in our town are aware, some are not, the community center has a congregate meal plan for our seniors that serves lunch every day, Monday through Friday during the week at the community center. It is not operating on Thanksgiving Day, though. So we encourage our seniors to take advantage of this opportunity to have a nice lunch and an opportunity to socialize in the community center. Our own DPW Director, Steve Dano, was just recently elected to be the president of the Rhode Island Public Works Association by his peers and at their annual meeting. He previously held the position of vice president. The Rhode Island Public Works Association is made up of directors and staff within the municipalities throughout the state. It's a statewide position he holds. The association is a nonprofit that focuses on providing training at no charge to all members in the public works field. Steve, congratulations. You do great work for the town, and you have a great staff to work with you. Thank you. Some social events. The town has the annual tree lighting, which is scheduled for Sunday, December 4th at 5 p.m. in Gazebo Park. It will be followed by a brief fireworks display. Also coming up soon is the Holiday Street Fair, which will take place on Sunday, December 3rd at our Clock Road facilities. The Narragansett Chamber of Commerce has paired with the Narragansett Parks and Recreation again, and they are sponsoring the event. It takes place from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on that day, and it is a great event. Just a reminder to the folks in town, health and welfare, don't forget about your COVID-19 and flu vaccines if that's what you plan to do. The North Kingstown Chamber of Commerce has additional funds left over from Take It Outside. I spoke with them today and their town manager up there. They are making the funds available to Narragansett businesses who contact them and apply for these grants. So if they just reach out to the North Kingstown Chamber of Commerce, I've already spoken to several businesses in town, and they were going to reach out to them as soon as today. You'll see many of the police officers in Narragansett. It's called No Shave November, and it's a charity event. The program is run by Sergeant Chris Riley of the Narragansett Police Department. If anybody has any questions about it or would like to make a donation, the charity is Cops with Kids with Cancer. It's a great program, and the PD has been doing it for several years, and we encourage you to support it. And that is about it. Thank you very much.
Jim, can I ask one question about the heating assistance program? How are we advertising that? Is Karen Flint at the senior center aware, and is she looking? I mean, there's only 5 people. I'm surprised.
It is on social media and our webpage, and frequently many of the people who request heating assistance, they'll first approach the Housing Authority, and they are being screened through the Housing Authority. It's the Inez Sprague Fund. It was a matching, the agenda item that passed, it was to match up to $10,000 of the Sprague Fund to be used specifically for heating purposes. So the Housing Authority approves the request, and then we issue the checks.
So the senior center, everyone is dialed in at the senior center about this program as well?
They should be,
Okay.
but I'll make sure of it again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jim. So next, we have open forum public comment. This is an opportunity for residents to speak on topics that are not currently being discussed on the agenda. Patrick?
Thank you. Patrick Murray, 83 Nepog Road. I just want to congratulate all of you on your election success, and I just came here tonight to wish you all good luck. I know the town has some contentious issues, but I'm sure all of you will work through it for the betterment of the community. Thank you.
Wynn?
I just want to ask Jim, we also have a Lions Club Christmas dinner at the North Beach Clubhouse from 11:30 to 1:30 Christmas Day. Anybody who's invited, it's just not for the needy, it's for anybody who needs someplace to go Christmas Day. So if we can get that out as a note, I would appreciate that as well.
I'll talk to you right after the meeting offline. We can post it on our website and make sure we bring attention to it at each meeting between now and then.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Jesse?
Jesse Pugh, 40 Birchwood Drive. So first and foremost, congratulations to each of you on your hard work and winning a seat on the town council this term. I promise you I will not be up here every meeting, but I do want to speak tonight about the way that vote for the president and President Pro Tem occurred tonight. At the beginning of the 2018 town council term, right here in these chambers, the third place finisher in the election worked with 2 members of the incoming council to have himself appointed as president. The 5th place finisher was made President Pro Tem. The 1st and 2nd place finishers were never offered the honor. That was the first meeting of what would turn out to be one of the most dysfunctional and least productive councils in recent memory. On the first night, that group made it clear that they would choose politics over decency and fairness. Tonight, you had a chance to start down that same path or choose one of unity and mutual respect. That choice was yours. What you had before you was what should have been one of the easiest votes you take all term. It was one of the few times that you were provided with data direct from the voters. Anyone could stand up here and surmise why the vote went one way or the other and what factors led to the results. But those are all assumptions with no way to be proven. We know one thing only. More registered voters in the town of Narragansett chose Susan Cicilline Bonanno to represent them on the town council than any other candidate. It's true, nowhere in the town charter is it written that the top vote getter must be selected president. When talking to the average resident in town, and I talked to quite a few, almost all of them were under the impression that the top vote getter becomes the president. They don't know the ins and outs of the charter, but it seemed obvious to them that the person who receives the most votes in the election should be offered the presidency. The top vote getter has earned it, it's fair, and it's just. Something not being specified in the charter doesn't mean we don't know the difference between right and wrong. We don't need a law to tell us what's fair, and we don't need rules to tell us the decent thing to do. Each of us as individuals has the free will to do what is right without it being mandated. This vote was an opportunity to show everyone watching who you are, what your values are, what you stand for at the most basic level. So what do you stand for? Political maneuvers and the desire to gain power? Or are you a person who takes and grabs at any opening just because you can and it benefits you personally? Or are you someone who respects your peers and your colleagues by honoring them for what they've earned? Only one person sitting up here tonight has earned the right to accept this position. These aren't town council questions or questions about legislative policy. They're questions about how each of you choose to live your life, how you conduct yourself, what you think is important, and the principles you believe in, whether the situation is convenient or not. This wasn't about if you like someone or agree with them or think they'll be good at the job. This was about decency over politics. It was direct insight into your character, and you've shown us who you are.
Thank you. Dr. Alba?
Thank you, Council President, and congratulations to all of you who got elected.
Please state your name for the
Yes,
record.
Dr. Albert Alba, 24 Eagles Nest Terrace, Narragansett, Rhode Island. I hope we all stand united. We have to work collectively for the betterment of our town. As my dad would say, united we stand, divided we fall. With our newly elected Narragansett Town Council and legislators, may we work together to prevent the RIDM from continuing to violate our town ordinances in Galilee, Rhode Island. This year, the RIDM has continued to allow PREX to maintain their use of parking lots on the 5-acre parcel in Galilee, even despite their lease having expired. In addition, the parking lots are being operated in violation of our town's ordinances. In an email I received from former Town Council President Jesse Pugh, he noted the Narragansett Building Officials Office notified via certified letter on September 23, 2022, all owners of the parking lots in Galilee requiring a special use permit have to apply within 30 days or be in violation of the town's ordinance. This includes a lot being operated by Procasianti. It is my hope the new town council will not allow Procasianti to blatantly ignore our town's ordinances. And if any of these parking lot operators do not reply, we have to take issues with them, and we have to stop them from violating our ordinances. The RIDM has also allowed Procasianti to abandon the Lighthouse Inn that is now a health, safety, and environmental hazard. In the Providence Journal article, Rhode Island Supreme Court decision notes why the Coastal Management Council needs reform. It cites that the CRMC structure is fundamentally flawed, as it was a facilitator to the Champlain's Marina to be illegally expanded upon. Sadly, the RIDEM did not do anything to stop that expansion, even though it would harm the Great Salt Pond. The RIDEM director, Terrence Gray, has failed to step up to the plate for the mismanagement of our 5-acre parcel, and he also failed to step up to the plate to stop the Champlain's Marina expansion. The Lighthouse Inn was intentionally abandoned by Procasianti Paolino, and the RIDM announced previously that it wanted the state to pay for the demolition. The RIDM also generated an RFP, and it flatly rejected the town's proposal without considering any type of compromise. How can the RIDM's actions be beneficial to the state, the town, its citizens, and commercial fishermen? We are the only viable plan. Mike Riley and others made mockery of us. Shame on them. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Dennis Lynch, Central Street, Narragansett. Congratulations to each and every town council person. It's terrific to kick off the new session tonight. I actually do want to speak on something that was on the agenda, but there wasn't an opportunity to, and that was your continuance of the committee appointments to the various boards and committees. So I really would like you, and this is something I've actually mentioned in the past, it would be really valuable if you created some consistency about the liaison role at the boards and committees. So I've gone to a number of committee meetings through the years, and there's a vast difference between how some council persons take their responsibilities and others. And it is a liaison position. You know, it's about coordination and communication. And there's been times when some council members have, you know, taken the lead in trying to remove chairmen of committees or, you know, packing the agenda. And I think that it's in some ways insulting to all of the citizens that devote their time and all their volunteer hours, because you should allow those citizen voices to speak and be there just as a coordinative role between yourself and the town council. That's, I think, why you're there. So I'd ask you to consider that, and also something like some committees, the liaison votes, and other committees, they don't vote. So it would seem to be valuable to do that. And thirdly, another little pet technical issue is you may also consider across all of the committees that you need to be a resident of the town in order to be a member of a committee or a board. It's now a requirement only for zoning and planning and one other committee. I forget what it is. There's one other, but it's not anywhere near the majority. So it seems reasonable that you would have it populated with residents. And I think you have an ample number of residents that want to participate. So those are considerations I did want to mention as you think about putting the various committee members on the various boards and committees. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I comment on that?
During public hearing?
We're not in public hearing. We're in public.
A
Yeah,
public
we can-
comment?
James says I can.
Okay, sure.
Just for your edification, Dennis, about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, Susan and I met with Janet Tarot to do some of the things that you're talking about. We have done, I think, a tremendous job of making sure that the committees, boards, and commissions are pretty full, and the vast majority of them are, in fact, residents of the town, and we've been working hard to make sure that that happens. The only times that it hasn't is when we really didn't have any other candidates. So we've done a really good job of ensuring that, you know, the will of the people from back to 2012, where we had term limits, we've made sure that the term limits are now in place. So there's a lot that's being done, and there's more to come, but I just wanted you to know that it hasn't gone unnoticed. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb. Anyone else? Harry?
Harry Schofield, 9 Atlantic Avenue. I just want to come up to say that I support wholeheartedly the suggestions, you know, Dennis just made. I think residency needs to be mandatory for these committees. And despite the comments made, I think there could be a lot more done to ensure consistency among these committees in the way Dennis spoke. So just want to register that support. And I also want to say that, first of all, congratulations to all of you. And I want to say that from my perspective, I think your procedure for voting for president and president pro tem was just fine. Congratulations.
Does anyone else like to speak from the public? Okay, so we'll move on to consent agenda. Do any council members want to remove any of the consent agenda items, separate them out? No. Anyone want to move the motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Vote? All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, so going on to new business. Next is a motion to approve the purchase of one new 2020 Polaris Ranger XP 1000 utility terrain vehicle, UTV for the fire department from Polaris Sales Incorporated in the amount of $25,240.78, utilizing the Sourcewell contract. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Anyone have questions?
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank the chief for, once again, finding somebody willing to fund this for us. And I'm really sorry that Stanley's not here, because he'd be so delighted to see that we're getting this $25,000 truck or a utility terrain vehicle for virtually nothing. So thank you so much, Chief.
Beat me just saying that.
Yeah.
Wherever Stanley is, he's happy.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All in favor? Oh, any public comment on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0,
Aye.
motion passes. Next on the agenda is a motion to approve the purchase of one new Medlight UTV medical rescue skid for the fire department from Kimtech Corporation in the amount of $3,342.02, utilizing the GSA contract. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any public comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next from the Public Works Department is a motion to approve, ratify, and confirm the emergency engine repairs to Fire Department Rescue 3 performed by OSP Diesel in the amount of $19,466.52. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone from the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Next is a motion to award the bid for the purchase of chairs for the towers to the lowest bidder, Commercial Concepts and Furnishings, in the total amount of $15,762. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I wanted to make sure that people knew that the reason that we're buying these chairs is because we rent them right now, and we actually would charge for the use of the chairs for Towers events, and so instead of renting them, we purchase them, and the revenue will come to us. So just so you know, that's happening, and it's been quite a long time coming.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0, motion passes. Next is a motion to read, pass, and accept as a first reading a resolution amending the official list of parking restrictions and regulations in the town of Narragansett in accordance with the Narragansett Code of Ordinances. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this one? Council members? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Next from the Parks and Rec Department is a motion to approve the two agreements with Narragansett Surf and Skate Shop, 74 Narragansett Avenue, Narragansett, for a 5-year surf lessons agreement and a 5-year weekly surf camp agreement at the town beach, and authorize the town manager to sign the agreements. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I do have some questions for Michelle on this one. Hello.
Good evening. Congratulations.
Thank you to all of us. So I know that a couple of weeks or maybe a month ago, you approved the other surf shop in town. So my question for you is, we have a workshop coming up with the beach, the Parks and Rec, about the beach. And one item I know that the previous council spoke about, which I agree that we need to have done, is a carrying capacity study. The contracts are 5-year contracts for both of these surf shops, and I'm wondering if we should adjust them to a 1-year contract for both of them, which would then allow for that carrying capacity study to be done this summer, and then next year we'll have what the recommendations are, and then we'll be able to make what will be the best interest of the town for the beach at that point. These are both 5-year contracts, and it kind of locks us in. And I know that you're in favor, I believe, of that carrying capacity study.
I am, that is true. It's my understanding, though, that this carrying capacity would take place not only at the height of the beach season, but also on the shoulder seasons as well. So I'm not exactly sure how these contracts might affect the carrying capacity study, because it is kind of broad range from my understanding. Again, I haven't met with anybody to discuss it in full, but again, I'm not sure how the surf contracts would affect the carrying capacity. Again, the beach, as we know, is crowded.
Right.
It's a very busy place, so I'm not sure how the surfers with the surf lessons and surf camps would really affect the capacity study.
Me either, but I think that will be part of the study that will take place. And so giving it 5 years, if we did it less than 5 years for both, I know you already have one, and I read the contract, and it looks like you can change the contract with them as part of the agreement of the contract is set. So I'm wondering if it might be a good idea for us to take both of them and make them shorter term, not 5-year. That way we'll have the information from the carrying capacity study and be able to identify potentially, a shorter portion of the beach, whatever it might be. I certainly don't want, I know it's such a popular sport, I don't want to do anything to stop this, but I just think that right now, because we are looking at this study, that we might be wise to take a little bit more time and discover what that information tells us before we lock in for 5 years. I don't know how anybody else feels.
And I can certainly see your point to that. As you know, like you said, you did review the contract, and at any point in the contract, I believe it's line item number 14, at my discretion, and of course, getting your guidance, the contract can be changed or amended at any point. So again, I totally leave that to the council's decision. If they wish to amend both of those contracts at this point, especially the one that was approved at the last council meeting. And again, we still need to talk about a capacity study, how we're going to make that happen. Again, that will have to go out to bid, so we'll need to research that further.
Speaking of going out to bid, can you explain to everyone about these contracts? Because we have 2 different surf shops at the beach. Why was there not a bidding process, or was there one I'm not aware of?
No, there was not. So like our other contracts similar to the surf contracts, for example, our yoga contract with Gina Rahib, our contract with Newport Volleyball, some of these smaller contracts that really don't require much effort on the part of myself and the town. These contracts, they're paying the town money. They're guaranteed money, guaranteed revenue. When these surf contracts began in 2012, apparently prior to that, there was some type of gentleman's agreement where the surf companies were giving a certain percentage of their profits to the town. However, in 2012, both of these contracts began for Gansett Surf and Skate and Warm Winds, where they started as a 1-year contract with an option of 2 additional 1-year contracts over the last several years, up until, I believe, 2017, when we started with 3-year contracts. And then moving forward, I felt that because we have such a good working relationship with both of these businesses in town, these small town businesses, the people that come specifically to the town of Narragansett, especially out-of-town people coming here to vacation and utilizing the surf shops specifically to have their kids learn to surf and skate, I felt that it was a good thing for my department and me as the director to continue to support these small businesses in our town, which again bring in guaranteed revenue. Both of these contracts would bring in just under $20,000 each over the next 5 years. But again, I leave the council's decision. If you wish to amend it, up to you. I certainly understand your concerns about the beach capacity study and needing to get that done.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Any other council comments?
Well, one thing that I would just say is that we haven't even started anything to get a beach capacity study done, so I doubt it would be done in a year. So if we did want to decrease the length of time, I would not be in favor of 1 year.
How about 2?
Split the difference and make it 2.5 now. 3. Well, it used to be 3, right?
Correct.
I'd stick with that.
Stick with 3?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
It's a 3-year contract right now?
It was 3. Right now, we're looking at a 5-year contract, and it had been 3 in the past. How long?
With any luck, we might get the study done in 3 years.
Yeah, true.
Of course, for the study, that would be something that I would be looking to in the upcoming fiscal year for 23-24 to build that fee or cost, to try to get an estimate at first what the cost of this particular study would be.
It's not budgeted for now, right?
No, ma'am, it's not.
So right now, it's 5 years. Is anyone looking to amend that motion, or is it just?
Well, Deb and I are saying 3. We'd like to change it to 3 years for both, not just but for warm winds as well.
So if the council pleases, I can, whatever your vote is right now, I can certainly do amended agenda items and try to get them on for the next meeting if possible. Ms. Terrell, my deadline?
You can amend this motion now for this contract.
Okay.
And Director Kershaw can put on the December 5th to amend the other contract.
Yes, ma'am.
Please make sure you tell the second contract, that we're looking to do the same for both, please.
Certainly.
Please.
Absolutely.
So is there an amended motion?
I move to amend the motion to have the contract length be for 3 years.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I'm going to probably not vote for that, only because most of the contracts in the town are 5 years. It just seems like that's been the standard, and I understand about the beach study, but I want to be in line with a lot of the 5-year contracts, and I just, at this point, can agree with going down to 3.
Anyone from the public? Dr. Alba?
Yes, Dr. Al Alba, 24 Eagles Nest Terrace, Narragansett, Rhode Island. I do appreciate and I respect, fiscally conservative. If Stan was here, he'd be congratulating all of you too. So I do think going to 3 years, I don't think that's a bad thing. And as there's competition out there. We don't know if someone could down the road, give us a better bid. We don't know if the technology is going to change. Things can happen. So I think it's a good idea to keep it at 3, as a suggestion, make it 3 years, and then we can see at that time if we couldn't renew it. So I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public?
Congratulations to all.
Thank you.
My name is Kathy Baptista, 30 Lakeview Drive. I'm just concerned, Mrs. Kershaw made such an eloquent point about our small businesses participating in this at the beach, and I would hate to see someone from out of town come in and have the opportunity to do something at our beach besides one of our own small businesses. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay, so this vote would be on the motion to approve the 2 agreements with Narragansett Surf and Skate Shop, 74 Narragansett Ave, Narragansett, for a 5-year surf lessons agreement and a 5-year weekly surf camp agreement at the town beach. And
For 3.
so we're amending it to 3.
The motion on the the motion on the table right now is to amend it to 3 years. I need a vote for that, then we can go back to
Yep,
the main
okay.
motion.
So the motion to approve the 2 agreements with Narragansett Surf Skate Shop, 74 Narragansett Ave, for 3 5-year surf lessons for a 3-year surf lessons agreement and a 3-year weekly surf camp agreement at the town beach, and authorize the town manager to sign the agreements.
So I'll make a motion to change the motion to be the 3-year, and then we need to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Follow that.
Second.
And then we need to vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Susan's going to abstain.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, aye.
Okay, so 4-1, 4-1, motion passes.
And now
So
it's-
now we're going to go back to the original motion, which is to approve the 2 agreements with Narragansett Surf and Skate Shop, 74 Narragansett Ave, Narragansett for a 5-year surf lessons agreement and a 5-year weekly surf camp agreement at the town beach, and authorize the town manager to sign the agreements. All in favor? This was,
That
this was
would be-
5. This is the original motion, so we
No.
have to vote on this one.
It would be 3 years as amended, the main motion
Oh,
as amended.
sorry about that. So the 3 years as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Nay,
Didn't
I
we just,
think.
didn't we just vote on that?
We had to put it as
I think.
Oh, I see.
So I know, so 4-1.
Okay.
Okay, so the next motion is a motion to approve the request from Rhode Island Races and Events and to conduct the annual Ocean State Road Race Half Marathon and 5K Road Race to be held on Sunday, October 29th, 2023, from 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., subject to state and local regulations. Can I motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion from the council?
I have one question for Michelle. Is there a fee involved? Does this company from Warren, Rhode Island, pay us a fee?
So they don't pay us a fee directly to the Parks and Recreation Department. However, they do pay for our staff member, 2 staff members that work that particular day of the event. They also pay for EMS services with the fire department. They also pay for police details. In addition, this year, they paid $5,000. 1/3 of that went to area businesses, organizations here in the town of Narragansett. $1,000 was donated to the Narragansett soccer team, girls soccer team. $100 was donated to the Narragansett Boys Scout Troop number 1. $300 was donated to the Bonnet Shores Fire District Summer Camp Program, and $400 to the Narragansett Youth Track Program. The remainder of that $5,000 was donated to 5 other area schools in our area to help bolster their sports program, in particular running activity type programs. Also from Karen Zions, the sponsor of this event, many people come to the area for this particular 5K, half marathon, and full marathon. They stay overnight in our local hotels. They eat in our local restaurants. And this year's event started at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the lot was cleared by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's really not a big strain on our resources within this town. And I do believe that they pay their way. They pay for our services, though they are not giving us a direct dollar amount directly to my department.
Have they also committed to the $5,000 again this year?
That I would have to ask, but Ms. Zions is aware that there has been some concern in the community about their organization having to pay a fee. Again, I'll follow up with her on that, but I'm pretty sure she will continue on this same path.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Any other public comment? vote. All in favor?
Al Alba speaks.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Alba.
Dr. Al Alba, 24 Eagles Nest Terrace. Yes, I think this is a wonderful thing. When I was much younger, I actually completed 2 marathons and about 10 half marathons. And I've done the blessing of the fleet. And it's a great way to be able to esprit de corps, especially, in October, it's going to be bringing people in, as Director Michelle Kershaw mentioned. Fred Bartlett, he had the Ironman competition, the half Ironman competition for many, many years, and Fred did wonders with the monies that he raised. God bless him, all the work he did. So I'm definitely in strong support of this program. Anything which is going to get people out and exercising is a great thing. So thank you, Michelle, and I hope Town Council everyone will give this a thumbs up. Thank you.
Okay. Oh.
I'm sorry, this is Susan Mancourt. She works for the company.
Well, Karen and I are business partners. So I just wanted to extend that, yes, we are definitely committed to raising at least $5,000. Narragansett Youth Track is actually one of our partner charities, so we donate probably $2,000 to them over the course of the year, not just from this road race. So part of our mission is raising funds mostly for youth, running, health and fitness organizations. So if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
No other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Next is a motion to approve the installation of a new water line to the residents at 95 East Middlebridge Road, 95E Middlebridge Road, to be completed by George Sherman Sand and Gravel Company, Inc., in the amount of $19,000, utilizing the miscellaneous repair and construction contract.
So moved.
Getting a second?
No, second.
Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Oh, sorry. Just state your
Matthew Eddy. I'm the caretaker at 95E Middlebridge Road. I've personally dug that water line up 8 times. It's a gross water leak. It just seems to be a pinhole, but it's about 4 feet down into the depth of the soil. It takes quite a lot of water to raise to the 4 foot or to the surface level. In this day and age of trying to conserve as much water as we possibly can, I don't think we should have water leaks out there. It's like a 300-foot long section of pipe that has a leak at about every 6 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Matt, thank you for everything you do at Middlebridge.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Engineering Department, we have a motion to refer the request from Megan and Zach Bork in regard to Plat NS, Lot 518, 232 Bonnet Point Road, for waiver of the sewer policy to the Sewer Policy Committee for review. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second the motion.
Any discussion? Public comment? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 15 is a motion to approve the contract extension for wastewater laboratory analysis with Microbac Laboratories, Inc., at their quoted bid prices and rates for a 1-year period ending December 31st, 2023, under the same terms and conditions as the original contract. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any public comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 16 is a motion to approve the purchase of bioxide for the wastewater division from Evaqua Water Technologies at the price of $3.76 per gallon for FY 2022 to 23. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any comment, public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. And from the town clerk's office, we have a motion to appoint 2 individuals to the Board of Canvassers.
Make a motion to move Katie Holman up to the permanent spot and Melissa Crawford as the alternate.
We need to take a vote, a first and second on the
Yeah, we need a
motion.
second.
And then,
Yeah, we'll take nominations. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
A motion by Susan, seconded by Deb, and then do I have nominations for individuals to appointment of individuals? So this actually is a recommendation from the Democratic, there was a resignation from Richard Bourbonnais. So the Democratic alternate member, Catherine Homan, is eligible to move to the member seat and has been recommended by the Narragansett Democratic Town Committee. And there are 2 Democrat applications on file from Ellen Corno and Melissa Crawford. And the recommendation from the Narragansett Democratic Committee for the alternate seat is Melissa C. Crawford. Does anybody want to make a motion to nominate any of these?
I do.
Susan's making the motion, I'll second.
Okay, so you're making the motion to
nominate
nominate.
the recommended?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so that covers both of them? Okay. Any discussion? Any comment from the public? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. And the last motion on the town council agenda is a motion to reschedule a work session with the Parks and Rec Department regarding a review of the 2022 beach season and beach policies and fees for the 2023 season. This comes from Councilwoman Susan Cicely Bonanno.
So I have to be on the record for saying I wanted to do it in September. And now we are talking about December. And it's a really tough time, and I disagree with the last president on, but the farther away from the season, the harder it is to remember the important things about the beach. So I know it's a busy time. I know it needs to be rescheduled. You're all just getting acclimated, I can see. So, you can determine a date if you want. If this is the 12th, but if you're not ready to do that and you need some additional time, feel free.
What date, Susan, are you suggesting?
I suggested the 12th.
Oh, December.
Yeah, but I know Michelle has work to do and she would like it sooner than later, but it's up to
Excuse
the
me,
council.
Yes.
Can we ask, who seconded this motion?
I think I did.
Okay.
Deb did.
Thank you.
I think.
I can't follow, I don't know. Maybe she did. So it's up to you guys. You can table it, you can cancel it, you can reschedule. I just didn't want to have it right on your backs as you're just getting back in.
That's a good idea.
And you're new. I don't know if you need additional time to do, study the committees first, or.
Is there, can we do it earlier? I mean, thank you for canceling it. It was scheduled for tomorrow. It's a good idea to have canceled it. But is there a time period between tomorrow and before the 12th? Michelle, would you like more time, or is the 12th okay with you?
I'm ready to present.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So would you prefer us to have it before the 12th, but not tomorrow?
Whatever's convenient for the council.
Do you have, are there any dates that you might suggest?
Can't be here tomorrow, I'm on a plane at 6:30 in the morning.
So how soon do you want to have it? I mean,
Nice.
We have November 28th, November 29th, November 30th.
I'm going to do the 28th.
When are you coming back?
We have
Next week.
December 6th.
Deb can do the 29th. Can anybody else do the 20? I can do the 29th.
I can do the 29th.
It's fine with me.
Does that work for you, Susan, the 29th? It's a Tuesday.
What time are you going to do it?
6:30, is that the same time?
The workshop's usually held at 6 o'clock.
6
Shouldn't
o'clock?
I could do the 29th in the evening.
So we can do the 29th?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to make the motion to change the date to the 29th? It was your motion, Susan. I don't want to, if you don't,
Well, you can amend it.
well, I wanted to give you the, if you wanted to amend it.
No, it's fine, go ahead.
Okay, so make the motion to amend the motion to have the workshop be on the 29th of November
At 6:30
at 6 p.m.
6 o'clock?
or 6 o'clock?
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved 5-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is that any second? Second?
Aye.
Oh, aye.
Second, I'm sorry.
All in favor?